Don't fight any enemies you can otherwise avoid, alright?
Makes sense. If we try to take them all on, there'll be no end in sight.
You sure won't hear me complaining.
I think I have to fight him, but, you know, we'll run away for a second.
What a weird stone.
I sense a strange power from it. We should gather as many as we can find.
I'll take you all on!
There! Got you! Magna Ray!
You're mine!
Here it goes! You're mine!
You're mine! Circle and bring them down!
It's over!
I'll run you through!
Sighted.
Had it
It's
coming!
over!
Move it!
Magna
Cannon
Ray!
storm! Touch
Swallow
cannon!
blade! Rising wyvern!
How's this?
You!
I'll bring you back from Death's Abyss! Resuscitation!
How's this? Had it coming!
Not done yet!
I'm only
Storm.
getting started!
Touch cannon!
I can feel my precision improving.
That was owie.
This is...
Seems you found something good. Supplies like that are valuable. Never overlook them.
Got it. I'll remember that.
Let's stop a moment to catch our breath.
But I've barely worked up a sweat.
Speak for yourself. What do you want, a medal? Doesn't look like we're being followed. Fail to grab these rare moments of quiet when you can, you'll end up regretting it later.
You're the boss.
Camping out. Resting at a campground will restore your party's HP and CP. I think that's important, because the CP sounds like it's going to be vital. While resting, you can watch skits and cutscenes that you previously viewed. But only...
Normally, we should take turns standing guard. But this first time, I'll watch over things so you two can rest easy.
I've never just sat and watched a fire like this before. It's surprisingly soothing.
Well, aren't you getting comfortable? You realize there are still Zeugles prowling around out here, right?
Ah, don't be a spoil sport. It's important to let your mind and spirit relax. Does you a lot more good than you might think.
That was interesting. I'm finding the way that they're doing some of the things in this game, like they take... Okay, so I haven't mentioned this before, but I'm a huge Tales of fan. Like, I wouldn't call myself like a top tier, like an S tier Tales of fan, but I love the series. It's probably in my top 3, or maybe 4. It's up there. I was really nervous about this game, to be honest, because they did say they were going to change a lot of stuff, but I'm finding the things that they're changing are nice little, almost like quality of life adjustments, which is interesting. So far I like it.
Zephyr, why aren't you concerned about who I am?
You feeling left out, son?
No, it's not that. But...
You said you wanted to fight so that you can live a free man. At this point, that's all that matters. Even if it somehow turned out you were a Renan, it wouldn't be such a big deal.
A Renan?
Until we know who you are, we can't rule anything out. Besides, we've already got Shion with us. At this point, what's one more Renan as long as they're on our side?
So you don't see every Renan as an enemy?
Our goal isn't to hunt down and kill all Renans. We only arm ourselves as much as we need to set ourselves free. If you can believe it, not every Danan agrees with what we're doing either.
Are you saying we have enemies among the Danans?
Not quite. They're just not up for rebelling, per se. The thing you have to remember is that everyone has their own path to walk.
I'm not sure I understand.
That's okay. Just focus on what we have to do right now. However, The time will come when you'll need to decide what to do for yourself.
See, like those little cutscenes, they've always had that in Tales of games, but they've been different in that, in the way they presented them were similar to that, but more like manga. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know that I dislike this versus that. I loved that, but I'm okay with this, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not hating it. Anyway. Oh, look, there's more.
How come you don't have a scar on your hand?
A scar? What do you mean?
The Crimson Crows all tore off their own spirit cores, right? But your hand doesn't show any signs of ever having a core like theirs. Why not?
I don't know. I don't remember anything about myself from before Doc found me.
Seriously? You have that mask, you don't feel any pain, and you just happen to know how to fight with a sword? No way. You must remember something.
I'm not lying if that's what you think. Believe me, I wish I knew who the hell I am. But I don't. It's funny how I didn't have any time for soul-searching while digging up rocks in a mine.
Still.
Are you saying you've told us everything about yourself?
Zephyr.
It's bad manners to pry when you've got plenty to hide yourself.
You're not gonna ask me about my past too?
Only when I think it's necessary. You're a real man of mystery, I'll admit. That said, I'm not one to dig around in someone's business just out of curiosity. If you remember something and feel like sharing, you're free to do so. For now, I think that's good enough.
Right. Thank you.
So this whole you not feeling pain thing, is that for real?
Why would I lie about it? And why would you care anyway?
No, it's just, you know, I can't imagine what it's like, that's all.
As a slave, I'd say it has its advantages and disadvantages.
Oh?
On the upside, when Renan soldiers push me around, I hardly flinch. The downside's that I get injured without even noticing. Which means I could be knocking on death's door and not even realize it.
Really?
Sure. I may be numb to pain, but it doesn't make me immortal or anything. Still, I wouldn't have noticed any of this if someone hadn't pointed it out to me. If not for my fellow slaves, I'd be long dead, lying in a ditch somewhere.
By the way, the voice actress that I was trying to think of her name, I remember it now. It's Erica Lindbeck, which she is the greatest voice actress ever. If you don't know, she was in Tales of Berseria, actually. She played Maggie Lou. She was in Persona 5. She played Futaba, which I know a lot of people like Futaba. I know she was in Atelier Sophie? I think that was it. She's been in a lot of RPGs. She's very good, and anime. She's a very good voice actress. I like her a lot. Anyway, we'll continue on now.
A Master Core, huh? Now I see. So that's why Balsef's cronies were so desperate to catch her.
Is that what it's called? The jewel in her chest?
Oh, right. You don't remember a damn thing, do you? Fair enough. Guess it's time to fill you back in. Tell me, you ever wonder why we Danans are made to work ourselves to the bone, day in, day out?
Well, when you put it like that, I always just assumed we were mining resources for them.
And don't you think it'd be quicker if they used all that high-powered tech they have? Why go to all the trouble of relying on weak human labor? Listen, what the Renans are really after isn't resources or minerals. It's astral energy. They're harvesting the astral energy that sleeps inside all matter in life forms. And they're doing it the same way they have for the past 300 years. using us Danans as mere siphons.
Right. They have machines for minerals, but extracting from Danans requires spirit cores. Any astral energy collected passes through a spirit vessel on its way to being stored in a master core.
But why go to the trouble of collecting all this energy in the first place? Do they really need all that juice just to use astral arts?
It determines the Sovereign.
Sovereign? Is that the Renan ruler?
Exactly. 5 lords, each doing whatever it takes to gather as much astral energy as they can and store it in their master cores. Whichever of them manages to accumulate the most power at the end of their contest is crowned the ruler of the Renan motherland. A new crown contest, as they call it, is held every decade or so.
So you see, the Master Cores are the receptacles in which the Lords store their power. And we Danans are sacrificed, so the Renans can choose their new ruler.
That's insane! You're telling me that's what our people have been dying for this whole time?
Relax, hero. You're not the only one who's bent out of shape about the whole thing. There are 2 things that I haven't been able to get my head around yet. What business would a Renan have stealing a Master Core? And what's the deal with that blazing sword?
I think the sword is a physical manifestation of the Master Core's astral energy. As for why it took the shape of a sword, well, I don't know any more than you do. Honest.
And that stuff about needing your permission to use it? What was that about?
I'm the only one of us who can control the Master Core to some extent. Without me to adjust the flow of astral energy, the sword can't take a physical form.
What do you want out of this? You may be one of them, but you don't strike me as the ruthless oppressor type.
I'm going to take down all of the lords.
Never thought I'd say this, but I like the cut of your jib, Renan. Very well. As far as we're concerned, the struggle continues either way. And with that sword on our side, our chances of victory just increased. That is, of course, assuming we can count the 2 of you in.
Fine by me. After all, it sounds like we're after the same thing anyway.
Honestly, I'm still a little confused by all this. But if it's a choice between this or going back to being a slave, then I choose to fight.
Then it's settled. Together we'll overthrow the Renan Lords. And first up on that chopping block is Balsef, the wild beast. Sound good?
I've gotta hurry.
We have another secret hideout in Ulzebek, not far from here. We should be able to meet up with our comrades there.
That music for, I guess, resting for the night is incredibly out of place and incredibly loud. And I've turned the music in this game down a lot already. And
I hate camping out.
it's still really, really, really loud.
We should be able to eat this. Whenever you find some, make sure to grab it.
It's edible, huh? Good to know.
Definitely.
This is kind of cool. Exploring. Hey, I got a fish. The best fishing mini game ever.
What's this thing?
It was just kind of like a weird little mini side game there. Just climb to the bottom, get a fish, climb back up.
That is one enormous stray.
I don't think we can take it right now.
Giant Zoogles roam around certain areas. They are very hard to fight, but you can get rare items. I don't think I should fight that one right now.
We've almost made it to Ulzebek.
I think I'll pass on the giant Zoogle there. Come back a little later, maybe when I'm stronger.
I'll take you all on!
Here I come!
One more!
Don't go charging off like that!
Swallow blade!
Take it!
Here I come!
Guess we gotta roll with it. Talent
Mirage!
Mega Ray!
I'm on!
Here I come!
Talent Storm!
Mega Ray!
You're mine!
I'll run you
Rising
through!
Wyvern!
See ya!
One more!
Not half bad!
Could you try to be...
I didn't mean nothing by it. Whoa, take a look at that.
What's this thing?
I like how he asks that all the time and nobody ever answers him. He's always like, what's this thing? Everybody else is just like, dum-da-dum-da-dee-doo. I'm not saying anything.
Normally I don't pick on the weak.
There!
Take
One
this!
more! Mega Ray!
See ya!
Here I come!
Talent
Rising Wyvern!
Top cannon!
It's over! Mirage! You're finished!
Who wants to die next?
Take this!
How's this?
Swallow blade!
Slice!
Ah!
Talent Storm! I'm sure I can put this to use.
Woohoo!
A dogtail resembling that of a wise noble Shiba Inu.
Woohoo!
So I guess I find these owls and they give me...
That's an unusual bird.
It's an owl. They're often used as a symbol to represent ancient Dana.
Dan and owls can be found roosting and they'll give you items. Okay. That's funny. I guess it's no different than cats were in Berseria, right? Same idea.
Right, here goes! Take
Mega
this!
Ray!
I'm not
One
done!
more! Mega Ray!
I'm on it.
It's over! Mirage!
There!
Storm!
And
It's
again!
over!
Mega Ray!
Here I come!
I'm on
You're
it.
finished!
Slice!
Here I come!
Talent
Rising
Storm!
Wyvern!
Here's a healing art!
Take this!
First aid!
How's this?
Ah!
That was almost too easy.
Yeah, the combat feels very much like a Tales of game already, so I'm happy with that.
Okay, people, this is it. Ulzebek.
No sign of any Renan guardsmen.
The Renans aren't as populous as the Danans. Probably figure stationing guards in a place like this would be a waste of precious manpower.
So this is where the next safe house is?
Yes. The last place they'd think to look for enemies is on their own doorstep.
That is, assuming anyone actually made it here before us.
Zephyr!
Looks like we needn't have worried. Come on.
Cut it out. Didn't anyone ever tell you it's rude to stare?
I know I already asked you this, but are you sure we haven't met somewhere before?
What's so hard to understand? I'm Renan, you're Danan. There's no way. Besides, I'm from Lenegis. Trust me, wherever you were before you lost your memory, we've never crossed paths.
Lenegis? You mean the same Lenegis that's up in the sky? I've heard it called the Renan's Castle, but I never imagined people actually lived up there.
Well then, where did you think we all lived? Didn't you see the Renan Lords descend for the crown contest?
And how long ago was that?
Well, the current contest started 7 years ago, so...
Then I wouldn't remember.
Just how far back do you remember?
About a year, give or take. That's how long ago Doc found me.
1 year. Then no. I'm sorry, but there really is no way we could have met.
Guess not.
They met. I can already tell. Like, the way the story is going, they met.